What's going on, everyone? So the Los Angeles Lakers had basketball today. Look, the Lakers didn't play anybody really significant or anyone that's really part of the rotation outside of like Jackson Hayes. Cam Reddish, I don't know if he's going to be in the rotation whatsoever. And outside of that, it was all like the G League guys and guys that are not even going to be part of the team. What do you say? I mean, everyone except for Quincy Olivari was cheeks. Bronny was actually solid, right? Like Bronny actually had a good game. So to his credit, he actually did. Him and Quincy Olivari were like the two guys to do anything out there on the basketball court. But I mean, this was just, it was exactly what you thought it would be, right? Complete route. Warriors played all their starters and key rotation guys except for Steph Curry. Steph was the only one that was out. And so Golden State just kind of ran through these guys. It just shows that, like, look, none of these guys are really ready for a rotation spot. None of these guys are really ready for any meaningful minutes or to be out on the basketball court. I'm really disappointed in Jaylen Hood-Schifino. Jaylen Hood-Schifino assist count was up, but he just isn't ready. He's just clumsy out there. He doesn't have any strength when he's handling the basketball. He's just getting bodied and bullied out there. And he has great size, great strength, but like he hasn't learned how to really control it yet. His handles are questionable. Right? Jaylen Hood-Schifino this was your moment, right? Like this was the game where it was like, all right, let's see what you can do out there. No, he don't get me wrong. Again, there were some positives. There were some good signs from Jaylen Hood-Schifino, especially his playmaking. But again, it's just his mid-range is nice, but outside of that, his three-point shooting is basically non-existent. He's clumsy out there. He's still a year, maybe 2 or 3 away from actually being a backup or even rotation guy. Luckily, he's still very young. I know people are willing to call him a bust and write him off already. I wouldn't go that far yet. Again, see what he is 2-3 years from now. I mean, 2-3 years from now, he'd be the age of Dalton Connect, right? So what does he have? A couple years in development. Lakers aren't looking for him to be a rotation piece right now. Cam Reddish, again, another guy that he's just not good. He just isn't. Like, it's so unfortunate, man, because I love Cam Reddish as a basketball player. Like, his like, variables, right? Like, his size, his athleticism, his wingspan, his defense at times, like, but his cheeks is, man. He's just like, this was an opportunity for him to really show like, hey, I should be in the rotation. I should be a real basketball player out there, right? And he wasn't. He's awful. Couldn't shoot, save his life. Couldn't score the basketball. When he did try to drive or beat guys off the dribble, he just turned the ball over or just lost the handle. It was absolute mess from him. Jackson Hayes, again, like I said, solid as a third big, not your starting or backup big, in my opinion. When he's playing alongside like D'Lo and LeBron and AD and stuff like that, he looks better. It's just because those guys are able to make him look better. But Jackson Hayes as his own, he doesn't do anything out there. Doesn't really provide any defense. He has no real scoring. He has to be set up on all his scoring abilities. Rebounding, he was solid, for 21 minutes, 7 points, 7 rebounds. But again, nothing really to write home about. Castleton, Armel Traore, I still love, right? Again, he's a development guy. He's a guy that is probably going to be a couple years away. And he only played 16 minutes. In 16 minutes, gave 4 points, 4 rebounds. But it's more of his defense. I mean, he was out there defending like Gary Payton and then like Buddy Hield and then like switched on to, who was it, Kevon Looney, I think it was, right? Like his defensive versatility, really like what we see from him. Maxwell Lewis continues to just try to do too much. He can't shoot, and his cheeks as well. The only guy that was very good was Quincy Olivari. Great efficiency, had like half their at one point he outscored the entire team by himself, but ended up with like little less than half of their total points. Quincy Olivari, look, you got to get rid of Colin Castleton, right? Either Castleton or Koloko, and bring in Quincy Olivari. You cannot let Quincy go. You can't, right? Like, this was a moment to see who is who. This was an opportunity for guys to really show and display what they were capable of. And again, Quincy Olivari and Bronny James were the only two guys that came to play today. They were. Say what you want about Bronny James, talk about how he's trash, did that and the other. At least he was the one that was being aggressive. At least he was one of the people that was out there actually, initiating the offense and trying to do stuff. Right? He had good efficiency this game. Not shooting the three ball well, but that'll probably come. Defensively, he was solid, right? Like, him and Olivari were the only two guys that really should have. But Olivari, man, I made a little community post or whatever, and I said, I used the cat meme from in games where it's like, get this man a shield. Like, you gotta, like, you can't get rid of our Mel Traore. Mel Traore is too versatile, too good. He's a real piece. He might end up being our best young guy 3-4 years from now, literally. So really, it's Colin Castleton or Christian Koloko. If the problem is Christian Koloko still hasn't been signed off. If he's not going to be signed off, then you might as well just cut him. I would rather. I like the idea of Christian Koloko, right? But if the NBA, like, how long does the NBA need when all of everybody has made a decision, right? Everybody has said he's good, he's ready to go. But for whatever reason, the NBA has yet to sign off on him. So if they're not going to sign off on him, then I don't want to lose a guy like Quincy Olivari, who has balled out every opportunity he's gotten. Right? Like, I don't want to lose a guy that can come in, shoot the three ball excellent, has shown that he can initiate an offense, go get you a bucket. Like, I don't want to lose that guy. So, to me, it's a no-brainer. Like, you need to get rid of somebody. If you're the Lakers and you believe that Christian Koloko at some point is going to end up getting signed off, okay, fine. Keep Koloko, then you got to get rid of Castleton. You got to get rid of somebody. Because as soon as Quincy Olivari hits that market, that's it. You lost him. Somebody is going to take this kid. I mean, he's been impressive in Summer League. He's been impressive in preseason. Like, I don't want to see you lose a potential piece that, I mean, look, especially if the Lakers pull off a trade or something, this kid might end up being needed in the rotation. Right? He might actually convert at some point to an actual roster spot. I don't want to see that happen if you're, because you want to keep Colin Castleton, who just, he doesn't look like an NBA player. At least Quincy Olivari, he looks like an NBA player. He wasn't going up like, people criticize, Dalton Connect and stuff like that, which I think is a little extreme, but I don't think is too, like, unreasonable. I just think some people take it too far, where people are like, well, Dalton Connect, he's doing it against, like, G League guys and guys that are going to be out the league. And to an extent, they're right? But we've seen Dalton Connect also do it with starting guys and bench guys and stuff. That's why I'm not really worried about him. But I do understand, okay, like, let's wait and see actual NBA games. Quincy Olivari just did it against the Warriors starters. Literally, everybody played for the Warriors, and a good amount of minutes. It wasn't like they just played him the first 5 minutes and pulled him out. No, Wiggins played 22 minutes. You got Melted. Like, all these guys played 20-plus minutes. Literally, the rotation. This was a dress rehearsal for the Warriors. And Quincy Olivari played against all these guys and balled out. Right? Like, do not lose Quincy Olivari for no reason. He's still incredibly young. He's 23 years old. Right? So, plenty of room. He won't be 24 till May 27th. Like, let this kid go out there. He rebounds. He defends. Gets after it. Right? Like, I really like what this kid brings to this team. He's more, in my opinion, he's more of a two guard than he is a point guard. He can initiate the offense, but, he's best off ball as that, like, shooter. But no, outside of that, like, again, Jaylen Hield was very disappointing. It was so underwhelming what he brought to this game. Again, there were some good moments, there's some good takeaways from him, but nothing worth writing home about. Nothing that was worth, again, he had some assists, led the team in assists. You like to see that, especially as a point guard. But he also had as many turnovers, right? Because he doesn't take care of the basketball. He doesn't handle ball pressure well. He's trying to drive into the paint. And he's not protecting the basketball. They're just knocking the ball off of his leg, or it just shows the difference between, like, actual rotation guys and G League guys, or guys that aren't ready yet. Right? Like, again, you had guys coming off the Warriors bench that were making these guys look terrible. So it wasn't just like, Andrew Wiggins, like, he's a great... No, it was like everybody. No, it's just there was nobody. Again, Bronny James, I thought, had a solid game. On both sides of the basketball, he was doing what he could, especially for as much criticism as he gets. And people are still gonna find ways to talk about how Bronny was trash and this, that, and the other, and blah blah blah. Right? But he, again, I thought had a very solid game. And Quincy Olivari, those two guys really stood out. But this was supposed to be Jalen Hood-Schifino's game. This was supposed to be his moment. And look, I've defended Jaylen Hield, and look, I still don't think you can call him a bust yet. I still think you got to, give the kid some time. Everyone develops in different ways. Jaylen Hield still very young. He's 21? He just turned 21 years old. Right? So, to me, it's give him a few seasons to kind of get right. You look at the guys that are actually doing something for the Lakers, like Quincy Olivari and Dalton Knecht. They're 4-year college players, right? And they're guys that are coming to the league and that are 2-3 years older than Jaylen Hood-Schifino, right? So again, what does Jaylen Hood-Schifino look like 2 or 3 years from now when he's their age and he's had NBA development all those years? Again, it probably ends up being a trade chip at some point. It probably ends up being salary filler, but I also don't hate the idea of just keeping him and continue to develop him, right? You need a couple development guys, that's fine. But I liked what we saw from Bronny James, right? I liked his aggression. I liked how he was getting after it. I liked that, he wasn't settling. He was trying to actually get quality looks and adding attacks to the rim, playing defense, had a couple steals, a couple blocks, right? Nice little balanced attack. But, Quincy Olivari is the guy that really stood out. Quincy Olivari is the guy that, deserves all the love and the praise. He's the guy that was just blazing out there. He was absolutely ridiculous, and he deserves the praise that he gets. And the Lakers, they cannot, you can't let him go. You have to keep him. You have to. You cannot afford to lose Quincy Olivari. I'm sorry. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you like what you've seen from Quincy Olivari? Do you think what you've seen from Bronny James? How do you feel about the other guys on this team? Are you disappointed in them? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you.